Hello and welcome to Viper Strategies, where we put roulette strategies to the ultimate test. This is not a simulator app. We are using a custom built software to back test strategies against real casino spin data. That means real outcomes, real risk analysis, and real world results. This is more than just content. It's a passion project. After years of getting beat up from the casinos, we decided it was time to fight and strike back. So on this channel, we fine tune strategies, run deep performance analysis, and stress test across multiple sessions against thousands of spins to see if they really have true profit potential. Because around here, we always test before we invest. Hey, welcome back to another Viper Strategy software test video. We got a fun one today. One of my favorites we're going to be running. It's called Street Slayer. It was originally designed for a super long progression, and David Johnson and I kind of collaborated between the two, and I did run it on the previous channel. It worked out well in the survival test. We have implemented and programmed it into the software, so I'm excited to go ahead and give a run on that today. I do also want to mention I am going to add stats and analysis, and that's going to be posted at the end of the video. I have a Google Doc that I'm going to track all this testing with, and then I'll just pause the video, do the calculations, and then just post the stats for you guys to see, and we'll kind of go over it from there. Also, do want to bring up you still have some time if you're interested in joining the founder circle, aka Viper Nest. We're going to close that next week. That's when we're going to choose the founders to be part of this project to help collaborate and fine tune it, polish all the bugs out, and go from there. So today's test, we are going to play around with the configs, and it's going to be ran against the same data set. The reason being is because we want to see what kind of configurations work best with this type of system. Like I said, it was initially made for a single street, but we have the ability to change those streets. But I'm going to go ahead and get into it right now. And I do want to run 4 sessions, and let's see how it compares between those 4 sessions. They're all going to be at 100 spins each. And like I said, we are going to compare all that stuff at the end of the video. Okay, so let's just jump into it, and I will show you as we go through this. You can see right here, we got Viper Street Slayer. Okay, so we're going to activate that. Actually, we got to start a new session, right? Start a new session. Okay. We are going to do a fair comparison. So all these numbers are going to be the same. We're going to use a $1,000 bankroll. Our bet units, we're just going to keep it at $1. We're going to skip that. Okay, this is activated. Let's go into the configs. Okay, so you can see that it's set up right now. Okay, so right here it says streets to bet on. We have an option or a range 1 through 11. So the original progression was designed to be on a single street with a super long progression. Let me just show you. Actually, I'll probably end up posting the progression so you could follow along if you want. Okay, so we have different options as far as progressions we could use for this, but I'm going to keep it with the original progression. So you can see right here, this is the original custom progression that he came up with. And it's a super long progression, as you can see. And the rest of the configurations, we're just going to keep it at reset at session high. We're going to keep the rest the same, okay? All we're going to change on this one is the streets. Okay, so the first test is going to be against a single street. Let's see how it pans out against 100 spins, okay? And another cool thing that the professor upgraded is this should be spitting out data a lot quicker than per second. So I might not necessarily speed it up because some of you guys expressed that you do want to see that. I'm going to also zoom in on the screen so you can see it a little bit better, and I'll keep track of the spin count up here. Okay, I don't think you really need to see that spin count. I will pause it at 100 spins. So let's just start the session and see what happens. Okay, so let's start. All right, couple losses in a row, but you can see right here, I'm going to keep this screen up, the visualization. All right, we're on a long losing streak. Okay, we came back, made the money. Okay, we are in a session highs at 93 right now. And you could see it is a slow progression and it doesn't increase too much. The downside of playing like this is you are only covering three numbers, but that's the reason why we made such a long progression on this. Okay, I do want to show you something too. I brought it up in the last video, but I think it would be good to show you as well in this video. So let's just pause it right here. I know we're at 66 spins. We're currently at $265 in profit, but I do want to show this again. This is the trigger. So look right here. I'm going to highlight it. Triggers. Okay, so this is some cool stuff. Look right here. Streak 22 through 24 has missed 46 consecutive times. We have the trigger set, that /29, that trigger is set to notify us when there's 29 consecutive misses. So that's a super long cold streak. What's cool about this is if you're using this side by side to play a session on a casino, it's going to notify you these no matter what system you run in. It's not just on this strategy. So you can see right here, if you get a notification and it's hit 46 straight misses, that's playing the cold side. So it's ideal maybe to jump in at that point with a long progression like this. We refer to this Street Slayer as a striker type of bet, meaning you're waiting for these triggers to pop up and then boom, start betting. Because inevitably that's going to hit sooner or later, right? But now you kind of got a jump start. Not only are you stacking it with a super long progression, but you already got a head start of 46 misses. And I know some of you guys do bring up, and I know for myself, I've seen a lot of these go like to 90, pushing 100 straight misses. So that's not a guarantee. There's always that risk, right? But most of the time, is it going to pan out? I don't know, but it's something cool, and it's a nice little feature that tracks this. It also tracks a bunch of inside stuff. It does the outside bets as well, but I did want to stop and show you that. Okay, so let's just resume and finish out this the 100 spins. Let me click back over to the visualization. Oops, sorry guys. Oh, right here. There we go. Okay, so bets up to $9, $10, $12, 14, 18. Oh, we're gonna need a hit soon. We're on a huge losing streak. Oh, massive hit. I didn't quite catch it. I wasn't sure where we were in the progression, but look at that profit. It just shot up. It skyrocketed up to $433 in profit. Okay, on pause. Let's finish out the test. We still have a few more to go. I'm going to stop at 100, and then I'll go ahead and write down the stats. Okay, 100 spins. We did peak out at 1,433. Let's go down here and see our win-loss. Check this out. I do want to highlight this. Okay, just bear with me because I got to log all this information, and I will explain as I'm logging it. Okay, so on the first one, again, this is a single streak long progression. We only got 7 wins. All right, so the win is 7 to 93 losses. And let's see what our next is. Profit. Let's go ahead and stop this session. And we got a profit, our end profit, not our end profit, but our profit at this 100 spins is $383. I'll calculate the ROI later. End balance. What's our end balance? 1383. Remember, we started with $1,000 for a bankroll. Our session high is $1,433, and our session low, we only dipped down to what's that, like $60 into our bankroll. So that's always nice. Not stressing too much there. But again, that's why we're gonna run it against. We're gonna do different configurations to see which one works the best. Okay, so I got all that information logged. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's clear this out. Let's stop this. And we're stopping this. That way it resets that data. So it goes back to, because it follows the same sequence. Okay, so we are going to start another session. Okay, boom, boom, boom. And we are going $1,000 bankroll, doing apples to apples. The only thing we're changing is the configuration. So now we must go, okay, this is activated. And let's go into the configuration screen. And okay, so first one right here was $1, a single street. So let's go ahead and let's go to 7. Okay, so we have a max of 11. So I'm gonna try to do like, let's just go to 4, because maybe 4 might be good. Just add a few more. Let's try 4. The rest of the configurations, let's go ahead and keep the same, right? We're trying to do the apples to apples comparison test. Those are saved. Let me go ahead and pull this up, and I will start the session. Okay, another 100. So this is session 2, same data set. Now we're running 4 streets, and they are going to run separately. So let me pause real quick. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, they're all currently at 2, but they will run separately. Let's see right here. No, they're still at 1. They're going to offset. So depending, like you could see, sometimes they're at 1, some are at 3. So they're going to run separately. Just depends on how they're going to, if they're hitting or not. So as they hit, they're going to slide over and move to a different spot. And I'll have the original link to that video too. I'm going to have to dig into the library and see if I can find it. But I'll have the original link to Street Slayer as well if you want to go over to the other channel and check it out. It was pretty interesting, but it was only 90 spins. This one, I'm able to run through these tests a lot quicker, which is super nice with the software, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what we want to know. You know, we do these tests to like see which ones are going to perform, which combination, which configurations are going to work out best. All right, we're on a super long losing streak. We came back. Let's see how we end. We are at spin 74, and we shot up again. We're at 1,288 is the session high. And we're getting near the end. We're up 312. We're covering 4 streets. And the way it's choosing this is it's using some learning. We're testing around with that learning, and it's moving around the bets by itself. Okay, so let's see how it performed today. We stopped at 100 spins. Let's check in our strategy manager. Let me go ahead and log this information as well. All right, so we had a little bit more wins. Of course, we have 4 streets covered, so that's to be expected. And so the win-loss ratio is going to be 32, and we got 68 losses, okay? But you can see we did end up in profit. So we're going to go ahead and log that info. Let's stop this so we can see that. And we got a profit loss. It's not a loss, it's a profit, but we have it labeled as profit loss just in case there's losses at $366. And now our ending balance is going to be 1366. Session high, where did we peak out at? 1370, $1,370 we peaked out. And here we went a little bit lower than we did previously. You can see we dipped down into the bankroll a little bit more, but still not too bad. That's 892 was the low. Let me put this in the right place. Sorry guys, I'm trying to multitask. And at the end, I'm going to show you all this. I'm going to do crunch some numbers and get some averages between these tests. Okay, so that was at 4 streets. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear this out. Let's stop this so it can reset. We are going to go start another session, and we're going to change that configuration around just a tad. Same bankroll, guys. Same unit size. Everything's the same. We're changing one thing in the configuration. We're going to activate this, go into our configuration screen, Okay, everything's the same. We're running what, 4 tests today? Let's go to 7. And then the next test, we're just gonna go max street. Again, we're just trying to see which combination yields the best results. Okay, we'll go over that at the end of the video. Okay, let's save that and let's pull up the bet visualization so you can see the bets and the placements. And let's start another session. All right, we're in it. This is session number 3, and we have a total, you can see 7 streets covered. And we are using the same data set because right now we're trying to figure out which works best, which one's going to yield the most results. The first one did end up making pretty good money, but a lot of people may not like to play like that. I know I've played it before, and it worked out. And to be honest with you, I only played it, I think, twice, but I did stack it with another system. I just typically don't like when the second time I played it, this progression just went a little uncomfortably high. And I know it's a super long progression, and you trust in the numbers and the law of averages that street's going to eventually hit. I ain't going to lie, I chickened out and I just pulled it off. But everyone has a different risk tolerance. I'm sure many of you guys that have followed the channel for a while, I tend to lean on the conservative side. Because I work hard for my money. I don't want to just donate it. Okay, so we are at spin. We're almost at spin 80. We are at the session high is at 229 in profit. We're at 85. I love this software because, man, it makes my life so much easier. I don't have to be manually punching these in, and we could run through so many tests so quick. All right, we're approaching 100 spins. And let's stop. Okay, we ended on a good note. We ended at a profit high. Let's check the strategy manager. Okay, so of course, now you see this number. We have a higher win to loss ratio. Again, as to be expected because we are covering more numbers. So law of averages says that should happen, more times than not. So let's go ahead and stop this betting session and let's see where we are. So this one, not as high as the previous ones. We got a profit of 282 bucks, and end balance is also 1282. It looks like our high is also 282 or 1282 because we started with a $1,000 bankroll. And our session low, we went a little lower on this one. We went down to 852 was the low. And again, all these are 100 spins each. Let's go ahead and do one more session. So let's clear things out. Let's reset this. Let's go start another session. This is going to be the 4th and final session. And of course, after this, I am going to share with you stats and give you some averages and kind of give you some analysis on what we just ran today. So starting balance, also $1,000 units. Okay, now we are going to make sure that's activated. Double check configurations. All the rest, they're going to stay the same. Like I said, we just ran 7 streets. We are going to go max. We have a range to play with, 1 through 11. I'm not sure if you can see, it's right there. And let's go max, 11 streets. And same data set, same 100 spins, same bankroll. Let's see how this does. I'm kind of curious. I never ran this many. So let's see what happens. Let me pull up the bet visualization for you guys and we start. Okay, so I'm expecting a ton of wins because we got such high coverage. My biggest concern with this would probably be how does it recover over a loss, or maybe if it gets a couple losses, how's it going to recoup? Because like I always bring up, there's that risk to reward ratio. Obviously, if you put a lot of money on one number, you're going to win a lot of money, but the risk is sky high. We're doing quite the opposite. We're covering most of the wheel, so that payout's quite low. So let's see how this runs today. So far, so good. It's not making a ton of profit. It's staying at that base level bet because they're consecutive wins. So the high we got is 32 bucks in profit. We did just accumulate a couple losses. Okay. We are at spin 60 at this point. Spin 75. We did peak out at $49 in profit. We're on a losing streak. It's dipping down pretty low. Okay. We stopped it. We have to stop it right here. It went, I believe it was around 87 when it hit that stop loss trigger. Bet progression was too high. Didn't have enough to continue. So that's implemented as a safety feature, guys. We could turn that off and on. That's something we can adjust. If you want to just let it run through your entire bankroll, that's ill advised. So a lot of these, I would have to go double check and make sure which ones they're on and off for. Okay, so let's go ahead and just check stats on here. Strategy manager. So we're gonna call this one a bust. Look at, we did win the majority of those. So we won 70, lost 14, but those 14s, like I said, when you have this much coverage, those are some big hits, dude. Super big hits. So let's stop this session. So our profit loss, we didn't, technically bust because that stop loss prevented us from going any deeper. So our loss is at minus 268. Our end balance is 732. And our session high, where did we peak out? See, we only peaked out at 49 bucks. So $1,049 was the session high. Session low, of course, it stopped at this point, so it's the same as where we ended. So that's going to be 732. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to just pause the video. It's going to be real quick for you. I need to pause it, that way it's pure silence while I do some calculations, and then I'm going to pull over the Google Doc and all the analysis and stats that I recorded. Okay, so pause right here. Okay, I'm back and I got the numbers all crunched out. So look right here. This is for Viper Street Slayer. And I know these averages because we adjusted so many different streets. It would probably be better to average, obviously, like if we run 3 or 4 sessions against one single street, 4 streets, 7 and 11, that would give us a better idea. But I did just want to crunch these numbers for you so you guys could view them out. So right here, you can see we got the first one was single street. All these are going to be the same as far as bankroll unit size. And our profit on that one was 383. That was a 38% ROI. And balance, same. Our session was up 433 bucks in profit. And we dipped down to 939 into the so that's 60 bucks into the bankroll. Okay, now let's look at the next line. We got 4 streets we ran, same bankroll, same unit size. Now we got a profit of 366. ROI on that was 37% of bankroll, ended at 1366. Session high is 370 bucks. We dipped down to 892. All right, next one, let's go over. We got 7 streets covered, same bank, same unit. Profit is a little bit lower. It's at 282. ROI is at 28. And we ended at 1282. And our session high, we ended on a session high. So we're up 282 bucks on that. Okay, the last one that didn't do so hot is going to be 11 streets. And it's obviously the same unit in bankroll. And we lost a negative 268 on that. That's a negative 27% ROI, and balance was 732. And our session high was 1,049. So we didn't peak out too high, and our low was the lowest at 732. So let me highlight these next ones. So throughout these 4 sessions, you can see right here, I highlighted them. So average profit throughout these 4 comes out to $190.75. Average ROI percent between the 4 sessions is 19%. Average high was plus $283. Of course, we don't. That 1,000 is adding our bankroll that we started with, so we were up 283 bucks on average. Average low is minus 853.75, and that was what's that, a little bit over 150 or about 150 bucks into the bankroll on average. So didn't get super low, which is always good too. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this, and just give me some insight, give me some comments, and let me know what kind of tests. Now that I'm showing you different ways of testing, like I just brought up earlier, a great thing would be like, let's look at this line right here. Let's see which one did the best. The one that did the best on this was the original single street slayer. Okay, because right here it peaked out with the highest profit at 433 bucks, and it only used, what's that, about 60 bucks in our bankroll. Okay, I know that was just one, and we got to put it against a bunch of different data sets, but this would be like a great test would be for this one. Let's run 4 or 5 batches with different data sets to see how that one configuration works out. And then also what performed fairly good was the 4 streets. Like I said, maybe there is a sweet spot with the configurations, and that's where we need help figuring out. So anybody interested in the founder circle, just remember, we don't need people with software or coding experience. We need people, if you're retired, we need people with time, or if you have more leisure time, and you're just as obsessed with this game and figuring it out as us, we want you on the team. You don't need to have all this. It does help if you have a little bit of, computer background, know your way a little bit around the computer, but that's still, we could accommodate for that as well. Okay, so we just need people with time, so to help us like configure these and test and run all these, because they're not all running. I'm just showing you the ones that are running good right now. We still have a handful of work to do, because some of the configurations aren't working properly, they're not betting right, so that's what's taking up a lot of our time right now. So that would be super helpful. So like always, let me know what you guys think about this video, and until next time, guys, be cool, stay cool, peace.